We will get started. Green.
Hey, Tina, how are you doing?
I'm well, how are you?
Good. Congratulations on the Olympics.
Thank you.
I was listening in earlier today, and I think you were kind of mentioning, hey, you still kind of get emotional about this selection each time. And I'm just curious, why does this one, of all your accomplishments, why does this one mean so much to you?
For me personally, it means a lot just to be able to, represent my country. In 1996, I was able to watch that gold medal game. I remember it vividly. I remember my eyes being wide open, sitting down and watching that game and just thinking to myself, wow, like, I'm starting to love basketball and seeing women that look like me be on this big stage. I wonder if I could aspire to be there. And then the following year, the WNBA starts. So I just don't take my position for granted. I know the work I put in. I remember starting with USA basketball from like high school USA development camp and all of that. So it just means a lot to me to be able to be on the top of the top stage with the most elite players alongside of me. So every time I speak to Miss Carroll, this is the third phone call, I'm always emotional. So I'm just thankful.
Almost like a big picture of not just this, but this year in general, with as well as you've been playing, having a career year amongst the outstanding career. Does this year feel any different to you than previous years, or is it just like the results are, the numbers and stats are a little bit different? But I'm just curious, as you're working and as you're preparing, do you feel different, or does this just feel like every other year?
I feel like, throughout my career, I've been able to get better each and every single year. I think there's always been some type of improvement. And so for me, I think I'm just doing what I've been doing year in and year out. This year is definitely different just because I didn't play last year. So, the hunger is there, wanting to compete, missing being in the locker rooms and all of that. But outside of that, I think I'm just doing what I normally do throughout the days and the games of my career.
Cool. Well, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Evan.
Hey there, Evan Lambert with Fox 5. Congratulations. And you've done this before. So what advice would you share for your teammate who will now join you on the Olympic team?
My advice to any of the first years, I think 6 of them, especially Ariel, is less is always more. Normally when you're with the Olympic team, you normally check who you are for your WNBA team at the door. And it's just more so what you can do for us to achieve to win, the actual games that we need to win to get to the gold medal game. It's just all those little things. And then it just always comes together. And I think that's the beauty of this Olympic team. We don't have the leisure of being able to train together as much as other countries do. So the fact that we could be selfless, and it's not just about what you can do on the court, but it's just also, it's about your character and the person you are as well, so it just definitely is full circle when you're on this team. But that'll be the best advice to any of the first years, is just less is always more when you're on this team. I guess you can say you sacrifice the me for the we. I think that's the best way to put it.
Jen.
Hey, Tina, congratulations, and thanks so much for doing double duty with us today.
Mm-hmm.
Building off of that question about sacrificing the me for the we, either in your experience personally or just watching other players come through the national team system over the years, how difficult is that, or easy is it to like flip that switch from being a star on your WNBA team to filling whatever role you need to play for the national team?
For me personally, it's not hard at all. Just because I would like to think I'm a selfless person, especially coming from UConn and just how Coach Oriema ingrained in us, how we're supposed to share the ball, who we're supposed to be. It's not just one individual. So I think just coming from his program and just seeing what it took to win, it's definitely easy to just go into atmosphere. And if you see Diana Taurasi to the right of you, I think you know what your role is. So it's really easy. It's nothing to actually think about at all. So.
And how has your role evolved, from your first Olympic team to your second team to whatever role you expect to play on this year's team?
I think my role has been pretty much the same. I think, my first my first one, my second one, it's just all the little things that I've been doing. Run the floor hard, set hard screens, rebound the ball, be a defensive presence, communicate out there. It was much easier to go into because Coach Oriema was the head coach. And so I already knew his system. I already knew what he expected out of me as a player, and I just carried that over. I think going into this time now was just more so outside of setting the example of just being vocal, of just knowing what USA basketball is all about, and just my experiences being with the vets that I had coming in, like your Swin, your Sue, your D, Asia, Tamika Catching, Simone, Lindsay Whalen, like those guys, just being that voice when it just comes to playing basketball.
And last question for me real quick. I'm sure you've gotten a lot of texts and congratulations and all of that. But what's the best reaction you've gotten today, whether it's a teammate in person or a text message?
To be totally honest, being with Ariel, everyone's very much more excited for her versus me. For me, it's just like good job, keep it moving. Which I love. I'm really happy that she gets to have this moment, especially with this organization and what she's been able to do for them, and just the uprise of the Washington Mystics and her and Tosh and Elena Deladon, of course. So I'm happy that it's more about her, which it should be.
Hey, everyone's got to make money, and you live off of like your 10 years of glory and fame, which is clearly what they're doing. But at some point, you're kind of like, it's a little cringy.
No,
vocals
I'm
weren't the best
very.
there, Angie.
No, and choreography too. I mean, like
Well,
they got to work on some of those jumps, yo.
They're 40s, maybe if they get Ben Gay to sponsor the tour.
Maybe do a little Pilates. Yeah, stretch it out, boys. All right.
Nick is
Nick didn't get in
cannot
here.
He
no.
does.
What is?
What's
that?
going on? Sorry. I think Fox 5 was going up.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Jen, did you want to finish or was that it?
I think Tina got most of the way through. Tina, if there's anything else you want to add, but I don't blame you if you lost your train of
No,
thought.
I was just saying that I'm happy that it's more about Ariel and just what she's been able to accomplish being so young in her career, and to be on this team, and just what she's been able to do for this organization, not only in the WNBA, but also to reflect as an Olympian. I'm really extremely happy for her.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Shibata.
Hello, Tina. Thank you for your time. Can you
Yes,
hear me?
Yes.
So congratulations on officially selected as a national team member, and welcome to Tokyo this time.
Thank you.
And my question is, if you have any kind of general impression on Team Japan, please share with me.
From what I remember in an exhibition game, very smart, moves the ball, plays collectively together, very fast and quick. I don't take them, not having height to be a factor to them. I think they play really, really well together. I know they're going to really represent the country very, very well.
And what are you looking forward to coming over here to Japan this time?
I'm looking forward to everything. I've never been there, so I'm looking forward to diving into the culture and seeing the people and learning as I go. I think that's probably one of the best things that this game has allowed me to do, is to travel and meet different people along the way. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting over there and just taking it all in.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
ありがとうございました。
Evan, did you have another question? I don't think so. That's it. Tina, thank you.
Sorry, I did. Sorry, I didn't know how to unraise my hand. I do have one more. How different do you think it will feel, I guess this time around with very limited spectators?
I think that's something that just playing in the WNBA this year, obviously I didn't play in the bubble last year, sort of got used to. In the beginning, preseason games, we didn't have fans. And then at our arena at ESA, now there's, fans slowly coming in. But for what it is, our mindset is just trying to get that gold. I don't think it matters who's in the gym or where we're playing. I think that's going to be the point of emphasis. But it's definitely a difference not to be able to have your close family and friends, and USA Basketball not having a guest program is definitely a difference. I've been fortunate to have two, and there's 6 first-timers where you want to have that moment with your family or your close loved ones, and for them not to be able to have it, it definitely sucks. But we're used to what the atmosphere and what the new norm is given COVID.
I think that's it, Tina. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Oh,
Oh, no?
Matt Paris, did you have a question?
Yeah, sorry, just real quick. How did you find out? Sorry if you answered earlier, but what's the process of informing you that you've made it or that you wanted to do it, or like asking you if you wanted to do it? Just what was
Well, as you know, the years leading up to the Olympics or World Championships, there's a pool of WNBA players, and you have your training camps. And throughout the time, you have the Olympic team has a committee. They watch all the practices, all the games that you're able to play in, and Miss Carol Callan calls and she tells you if you're on the team or not.
Okay, great, thanks.
So once you're in the pool, that means that you're committed to USA basketball. So that's what it is. So
Yeah, I just didn't know if it was like,
yeah, not a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a problem.
Appreciate
That
it.
is
No question is a bad question.
Well, you don't know me then.
Okay. All right.
That's
Thank you guys.
Tina. Thank
All
you.
right. Bye.
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Good, thanks.
Let's start with any update on Tasha. I know she didn't travel. Any time frame or anything like that for us?
I'll give you the same time frame for her and Maisha and Kiara. They all are kind of day to day right now. If we were lucky, we might get one of them for LA, but I'm kind of planning on more for maybe getting some players back by Dallas. That's the hope, but they're all in different stages of rehab. Maisha and Natasha are getting 2 treatments a day. And, we'll kind of make an evaluation probably on Wednesday as to where they are with all of this, whether they should travel to LA or wait another couple of days, see where they are. Natasha's was a sprain of her ankle, and it swelled up pretty big, and we're getting the swelling down now, but we just have to wait and see.
And hopefully nobody knew since the last time we talked to that we need to talk about.
Yeah, we were safe with no practice unless anybody tripped off getting off the bus yesterday, and today we did have practice. The grade 8 had their practice. We got Megan kind of into our team a little bit today and got her involved. So just try to get ready for tomorrow's game.
That was going to be my next thing. What was it about Megan that made her, of all the folks that you guys could bring in, why Megan?
Kind of a little bit of the style of play. I mean, in college and even in Dallas a little bit, but certainly in college, she was a post player who was used to the running game, running the middle lane of the floor and getting early post ups. If she was involved in pick and rolls, rolling to the basket, she's a good finisher around the basket. She's worked on her face-up game and extended her range, but I was intrigued enough to see how she fit into our system. I know that she picks things up quickly, and she has. And so I feel like, tomorrow will be, I don't know how many minutes she'll play tomorrow, but she's going to play, and, just see how it goes this week.
Just one last one from me. We've talked about Tina 1,000 different ways throughout the season and the things that she's doing. We've talked about, extending her range and some of the obvious things. I'm curious, what's something that we're missing that we're not talking about, that as a coach, as somebody who's behind the scenes, who's seeing it every day, that we're not talking about that you see?
Excuse me. I think, a lot of times when we talk about players, we talk about their offense. And, everybody sees that as the obvious things. She, whether she's scoring on the block or facing up and doing all those things. But I think that, the defensive part has been very underrated. She has, fit in perfectly to, help on pick and rolls and call out coverages. She's a terrific defensive rebounder and outlet passer. And so you start your break by playing good defense, don't give teams second shots, and, get out and run. And I think that, she's always been a really, really high-end rebounder, but I think it shows up in how we play because we're not giving up a lot of second shots to teams. And, she's been very, very good in our pick and roll coverage.
That's perfect. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Jen.
Hey, Coach, I'll pivot to the Olympic team for a second. You know, for you being a former Olympic coach and watching Ariel and Tina, both players you drafted, get selected today, you know, what does this feel like for you?
Well, it's pretty exciting. I mean, you know, I was kind of going on the assumption all along. I mean, I didn't think I was jumping the gun that Tina was going to make the team. She's a past Olympian. You know, her resume speaks for itself, and she's obviously had a very dominant season this year. But you don't know how many of the younger players they're ever going to pick, and you don't know, you know, what the criteria is. Sometimes the head coach of the team doesn't get to select the team; it's a committee, and so, you know, there's different points of view on the committee. But I have been a big booster of her to get into this program a couple of years ago, and once she got in, you know, she's done the work for them. I probably, that was one of my most emotional moments of the season, finding out this weekend that she had made the team. It's just it's a great testament to all the work she's put in, and you know, I think when she went into the process this past year and a half or so, was with the hope that she would impress people enough that if she didn't make this one, that, you know, it was more kind of like, okay, the next Olympics 3 years from now, she would be one of the, you know, up and coming, you know, kind of mainstays. But making it this time, I think it's an incredible thing. And I've told her, I mean, it's one of the best experiences of my life in basketball. And I'm thrilled that she'll get to go and experience it. And for us in general, I mean, to have, you know, 4 Olympic players on our team, it'll make our practices interesting during the break because we won't have those guys. But I'm just so happy for them to, you know, to have this opportunity.
And do you have a sense of, you know, obviously she's contributed so much for you all this season, but do you have a sense of what specifically pushed her over the top?
I don't. You know, I have not known personal conversations with the committee. I know in talking, you know, after one of their camps, I mean, the general impression is that she just kind of fits with everybody. She knows how to play with different players. You know, she, you know, doesn't have to be a go-to player. And so she knows how to play off the ball. I mean, she's played, you know, now with Tina and Elena and Emma and Christy and others, and has figured out what it is to fit in on the team. And the other part of it is, you know, a lot of players get selected because of their offense, but, you know, you're talking about somebody at a young age who's made the all defensive team now several years in a row. And, you know, every once in a while, the Olympic team could use some good defenders too.
And then last question for me, wanted to pivot to Elena for a second. You know, just speak as a coach, not asking you to be team doctor here or anything, but with it being, you know, a month after the season opener now that she wanted to play in at some point, how worried are you about her health? I remember in 2019, you talked about having nightmares about her back. Like, are you concerned?
Not at the moment because she's having good workouts. I mean, you know, things can change. I just think I told you all before when she put out the time that she was going to play, you know, on first game, that was a nice wish. But I don't think it was one of those things that you ever heard come out of my mouth. I've always felt that this was going to take some time. I had hoped that it would be, you know, closer to being now, but having watched the workouts, I see improvement every day. She feels upbeat about it. And so, yeah, I mean, until she's on the court playing, everybody's going to be concerned. But I think that, you know, she's not having setbacks right now. And I think that's positive. And she's in a good place, I think, mentally with all of it right now. You know, probably frustrated, you know, 4 or 5 weeks ago, but I think now it's different.
And is she still just doing those one-on-one workouts, some defense?
Yeah, when we get back, we're going to try to add a little bit more to it, but, you know, she may be able to do some 2-on-2 things this week with some of our staff that's still back in DC. I don't know, you know, we'll decide later in the week, but, you know, each week we've seen more progress. And, you know, once we get to the Olympic break, I mean, we have 5 more weeks before we play a game too. So, you know, if we went from right now to, you know, the first game after the break, we're talking about almost 2 months right now, you know, 8 weeks. So that's a lot of time to get her ready.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Natalie.
Quick question for me. Can you say whose injury Megan's hardship contract is tied to, and how
It's
long do you
tied-
expect it?
Yeah, it's just tied to the fact that Elena and Erica are out. So the rule is that one player has to be out at least 10 games from the time, and it can be, and you have to have, 4 games remaining of those 10 when you get the hardship. So Elena's way past qualifying for the first part of it, and we know that she's going to be out at least 4 more games. So that's the first one, and then the second player has to be missed 1 game and then missed at least 3 more. And we know with Erica's surgery that that's what's going to happen. When one of them come back, she has to be waived. You could then re-sign her on a 7-day. You could also waive earlier if the need arises where you can do it, and then re-sign. Next, starting on the 1st of July, you can start signing 7-day contracts. And so literally you could waive a player this week at the end of the week. The guaranteed contract date is this coming Sunday, I believe, or Monday. I think maybe it's Monday. And then if you waive somebody, you can bring them back 48 hours later on 7-day contracts. So we may be playing with the roster a little bit.
Mhm. How long do you expect to have Megan on the roster for?
Don't know. I mean, you just heard. I mean, that's it. I don't know. It could be, a week, it could be 8 weeks, it could be all season.
I think that's it, Coach.
All right, thanks.
If anyone has any questions, please raise your hand. We will start with Jen.
Hey, Ariel, thanks so much for pulling double duty with us today. Really appreciate it. First off, is your phone okay? Like, how many texts have you gotten today?
That's funny. I was actually telling one of my teammates, it's kind of like on your birthday. It's like everybody is just hitting you up. But yeah, my phone's kind of going crazy. Mainly my mom, more than anybody though.
What's the best reaction you've gotten today, whether it's a text or like somebody in person?
Definitely my parents. They were just screaming the entire time. And my dad was asking me if I was saying what I was saying. And I was like, yeah.
I love that. And as a kid, did you watch the Olympics growing up? When did that Olympic dream start for you?
I feel like it started once I started playing. You always hear about that being like the top of the top. Like you want to strive for winning a gold medal, and Team USA is like undeniably known for being like the greatest of the great. So definitely since I was a kid, and then watching the Olympics, I love the Olympics. My favorite sport in the Olympics is track and field. But you can't say enough about the women's national team and what they've done as a group starting from the beginning. And I just think it is so dope to be a part of Coach Staley's reign as the head coach of the national team.
Is there an Olympics that you remember being the first one that you watched?
Nah, I'm not even gonna lie to you and say I remember. No.
Fair enough. Thank you, Ariel.
Mm-hmm.
Cream.
Hey, Ariel. Just like Jen said, thanks again for doing it twice today.
Yep.
Has it settled in? Has it hit you? Have you gotten, I know it's been a busy day, have you gotten to kind of sit back and like let it sink into your head, like, dang, I'm, one of 12 of this team that you just talked about how legendary it's been over the years?
I think I'm realizing it, but I don't think it's gonna like hit me until it's time to go to Vegas and meet up with the team and things like that. Because again, we're in Seattle right now trying to get another win, and we've got some stuff going on here. But I think I'm realizing, but I don't think it's like really hit. I'm just waiting for that moment where it's like, yo, like this is crazy. So yeah.
What is it? I'm just curious, what is it like to watch for something for so long and strive for something for kind of so long and then be part of it?
Yeah.
I guess you're not in it yet, but you know what I mean.
That's a tough question. I mean, I've looked up to so many of these players for so long. Like I've had posters of some of my teammates in my room for ever since I can remember, and now they're my teammates. So it's really just, it's an unreal moment, and it's something that you just never, I will never take this for granted. Like, there's not a day I take this game for granted or the ability to be in this league, and now to be able to play at legit what we talk about, the best of the best in the world. I can't put it into words, to be honest. Like, I can't.
Whose posters did you have?
Nah, I can't say that.
Now, okay, tell me.
No.
So we in the middle of the season. Can't talk
Yeah,
about that now.
maybe once they all retire, we'll say
All right. I had to ask. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Matt Paris.
I'm sure you were asked this earlier, so apologies, but just when you got that call letting you know that you had actually made the team, what was that kind of like, and kind of what were you doing? What were you? Sorry, that's probably repetitive. But.
Yeah, well, I mean, I remember the moment. Obviously, I was headed to Nordstrom. I was trying to return something. And I was sitting in my car, and Carol called, and in Carol fashion, she got straight to the point. And I was really just stunned and shocked in the moment. I'm not sure, like, I didn't know what to expect. I was just waiting for her to give me an answer. And I think I was really shocked in that moment. I couldn't say much, to be honest with you. It was just kind of one of those moments where you're like, just got to take a deep breath.
Right. And when was this? When was the call?
When was this? I don't even know what today is. So
Monday.
Was it 2 days ago? Maybe it did.
Last week.
It wasn't last week. Maybe 2 days ago.
Okay. Thanks.
Shibata.
Hello, Ariel. I'm calling from Tokyo, Japan again, and congratulations for on your national team selection this time.
Thank you.
My question is about the Olympics. If you have a general impression on Team Japan or the city of Tokyo, please share with me.
I don't know much about Tokyo, to be honest with you, but I'm very excited to go play in Tokyo, Japan. I've heard a lot of great things about it. In the basketball in Japan is different. I'm really big on international players and their skill level and their ability to pay attention to detail, and the footwork is a big thing for me with a lot of international players. So I'm excited to get over there and see what it's about.
And what can be the key for you to be contributing to the team that is looking for the 7th consecutive gold medal?
Not to step outside of myself, just be who I am and do the simple things. And again, not try to step outside of myself.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And welcome to Tokyo.
Thank you.
Kareem, did you have another question?
Yep, I've got one last one. Sorry, it popped in my head afterwards. Have you talked to Tina Thompson? I'm sure you have. What was that conversation like? What'd she say?
We were kind of on the phone just crying together. That's what it was. In a nutshell, she's been there for me in a lot of different areas of my life. And so to kind of have her there for these big basketball accomplishments, because she did them as well. Yeah, I'm not going to get emotional on here, but it was just a really good moment.
Cool. It just popped in my mind at the end. So cool. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
I think that's it, Ariel. Thank you.
Thank you.